who will be pulling the trigger as they come up to speed, and it is Galco with a fast getaway.
Car number 9. The number 9 machine of Barrett initially drops to the rear of the field, but down the back straightaway. Matty Galco becomes leader number 1, but the caution is out as Tommy Barrett's bad luck continues. Matt, you talked about it as we were staging the cars in the front straightaway. Car number 9 has had no luck in one department and one department only. And there is the green, and Todd Owen gets a good bite and a little bit of extra oomph, but never count out Matty Galco, as he's making some noise on the outside. But Matt, look at the car that is moving like a black shadow to the outside, and it is Keith Rocco, car number 57. That car is already up to the 4th position.
Well, what about Galco, as he was able to whiplash his way into the lead from the outside groove? Now Owen getting a visit inside from Eric Goodale. Goodale trying to jackknife his way into 2nd.
Certainly is, and he really is going for it at this particular point. Michael Christopher told us earlier, you could hear the disappointment in his voice, as he is now worked some magic up to the top 5. Meanwhile, keep your eyes just from 6th on back, and Ronnie Williams, you're going to discover he's in the 6th position, Matt.
And in between him and that number 58 of Goodale is Mike Christopher Jr. Todd Owen almost made a move against Galco, came up short as they slither their way into turn number 1. Another guy to keep an eye on is Anthony Cecily. It's been about 10 years since he's been at Stafford, but he has gotten reacquainted with the place in a hurry.
He certainly has. That's a car that usually Tony Jankowiak has driven and had a tremendous amount of success with. Meanwhile, back up front, Matty Galco, who was the man who was our big story behind the scenes today on Instagram, is running in the number 1 position. But all of a sudden, look at Michael Christopher in the outside lane going around Eric Goodale. Now, that's a battle like you'd see on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, as though both of those cars compete there, and Ronnie Williams is hooked up and flying to the front of this field.
And also trying to move in is Todd Owen against Keith Rocco, who is currently in 2nd place. We have a double file battle. Now we have a yellow as problems in turn 4.
We've got a car that stopped to the outside wall.
And that is the 4 of Jeff Gallup.
Here comes the green again, and Matty Galco continues to guard the inside lane, but all of a sudden, look out, because the car to keep your eyes on is currently setting in the outside row, and while Todd Owen guards the inside of the 2nd row, Keith Rocco is on the top side of the racetrack. Eric Goodale is there, and Michael Christopher is in the 4th position on the inside. Chase Dowling is starting to come to life with car number 00.
Oh,
Sparks will fly. That's on the Goodale machine, and that worked to the advantage of Chase Dowling, who is now up to the top 5.
Boy, those sparks look like hailstones coming off of the 58. Mike Christopher going down low against Keith Rocco, and he gets about halfway there and then has to back off, and Rocco maintains his 3rd place position.
There's no doubt about it as they rumble off the turn. Michael Christopher tries to shake off Dowling in a bid for the 4th and 5th position. Look just behind them, and you've got Cam McDermott in a side-by-side battle as he comes off the turn, as now Goodale's car suddenly has become evil, Matt, and all of a sudden Ronnie Williams' car has mustered up a little extra giddy-up down the back straightaway.
And Ronnie Williams is in the top 8, and the top 1 is Galco, being challenged again by Todd Owen. He has been pestering him for the entire race. Keith Rocco running 3rd, but Cam McDermott, he is able to pull away from Ronnie Williams for the time being And Williams now making that famous move in turn number 3, and he executes it. He executes it brilliantly.
He certainly does, Matt. He learned that lesson well. Whether he learned it from Rocco or Christopher, it doesn't matter because it just seems to work. Back up front, Galco is hunted down by Todd Owen. Owen clicked off the quickest lap of the race, 18:7:46. Todd Owen going for the gusto. Off turn number 4, Todd Owen emerges as the leader with 14 laps up on the board.
And that was a powerhouse move he put on Matt Galco. Now it is Keith Rocco holding off Mike Christopher. Maybe a guy to keep an eye on right now is Ronnie Williams as he thundered underneath McDermott. And now he is trying to run down Chase Dowling, who is in the top 5.
There's no question about that. Meanwhile, McDermott is also coming to the front of the class in the 7th position. Anthony Cecily has dropped back to position number 10. Matty Galco is all over the back bumper of Todd Owen. Owen almost like he saved a little bit a few laps ago, let Galco go by, and then all of a sudden he took back the lead. 16 of 80 now complete in this Bud Light event for the modifieds here at Stafford.
Maybe a lot of people don't regard Todd Owen as a tour-type driver, but he does have a couple of wins on the Valente Modified Series, and right now he is leading by a tree trunk over Matt Galco. A battle for third as Mike Christopher is coming after Keith Rocco.
There's no question about it. He continues to work him over as he is right there. Dowling is up to the top 5, as we said, and then Ronnie Williams has closed up that gap rather impressively on Dowling. Cam McDermott, the same can be said there as well. Down the back straightaway, it looks like the 176 has dropped off the pace.
And that is Dana DiMatteo in that car. And as they swirl off the corner, it is still Mike Christopher close enough to Billy Club, that number 57 car, as he now wanders to the inside of the 57. And Chase Dowling is right there. I think Chase Dowling is playing spectator right now, waiting to see what's going to happen in the battle between Rocco and Christopher.
A quarter of the event is now over with. Todd Owen is the leader on lap number 20. Matt Galco is in second. Keith Rocco is third. Mike Christopher is fourth. Chase Dowling is fifth. Ronnie Williams is in sixth. McDermott is seventh. Goodale is eighth. Cipriano is ninth. Cecily is 10th.
And Anthony Cecily is trying to move in on Joey Cipriano. Cipriano in the Gunsmoke Stables 27. Cecily in the black 27. And almost going underneath was Anthony Flannery in car number 25.
Certainly was, Matt, and he puts a nice move on it. Here comes Dowling. He tries to make a move down underneath the Mohawk Baldwin race car of Michael Christopher. Christopher continues to do a good job of holding on to the spot with car number 7, New York. But Owen is clicking off the quick times, 19:037. Last time by, Galco a 1:30, Rocco a 0:42. So Rocco is almost as quick as Todd Owen, the leader, but he's got a lot of ground to make up, Matt, with 23 and counting here at Stafford.
But he's got a lot of laps in which to do it. McDermott, he has come to life as he is attacking Ronnie Williams in the 50 car. So Cam McDermott had trouble staying on the racetrack in our first 2 open races, but right now he is a thorn in the side of Ronnie Williams.
Certainly is, and he continues to be that thorn in the side, as now McDermott now is going to take a peek at the inside, Matt, and it just doesn't work, so he pulls it back into formation there. Todd Owen still in command, 19:081, and now Galco clicks off the fastest lap with a 19:064.
And that car is still good for Galco as it has found a little firepower. Here is Mark Buckeye coming off of turn number 4 against Dylan Kopech, trying to use the squeeze play on him. And Buckeye goes into the turn with some momentum, and he is on the verge of taking a position away, moving into the top 13.
He certainly does, but Kopech continues to fight back, so that battle isn't over with. And also right there is Jeff Gallup. Remember, on the last caution, he was down on pit road as they made a chassis adjustment. Here comes McDermott now, trying to get down underneath Ronnie Williams. That's the bid currently for the 6th and 7th position. Cam McDermott a standout. In the SK Light division, another graduate coming up through the ranks, wheel-to-wheel and side-by-side with Ronnie Williams, as that's the battle for position number 6.
Won by McDermott. You remember there was one summer at Thompson Speedway where McDermott was unbeatable in the light modifieds, and he made a virtuoso move there to get underneath Williams. At the front of the field, the battle remains the same as Todd Owen trying to pull away from Matt Galco, and the yellow comes out. Trouble on the backstretch as one car is in John Deere country.
It looks like it might be the 27 of Anthony Cecily, a car that had been previously driven by Tony Jankowiak.
Let's see how he responds to the inside pretty well as he gets the jump on Rocco.
He certainly does, Matt. He does a banner job of getting that jump, but Rocco is going to be firing it up again. But Galco runs like the rabbit being chased by the dogs, and a dog track as he comes off the turn. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on Cam McDermott with that yellow machine, the number 8 car. That car has been very strong and very consistent lap after lap, but now it gets shaken off by Michael Christopher, who's never been out of contention for the podium. Todd Owen is coming to the front, Matt, like the old hot knife through butter.
And Chase Dowling looking to make a move against the Cam McDermott car as he goes down low, but didn't have enough bite to make something happen. And Anthony Flannery, one of the feel-good stories of this race. He, for most of his career, he was a late model driver, but he has adapted tonight pretty well to open wheels.
He certainly has, Matt, and he continues to get stronger. Dave Etheridge is listed as the owner of that race car. Meanwhile, here comes Todd Owen. Look at Owen. Goes to the outside of Gallup, almost like Gallup had a parachute attached to the back end of the machine. Here comes Todd Owen. Remember, he pitted. They did an adjustment. Now, Butch Shea is a mastermind at making those cars handle. He created them, he breathed life into them, and he knows how to get those cars to the front of the field here at Stafford.
Now, Gallup is under siege by Dylan Kopech in the M6 as he is trying to waltz around that number 4 car, unable to make it happen. And also in the middle of the action is Andrew Moeller in car number 1. So he has become a factor. But Matt Galco right now on Easy Street. But if he looks in his rearview mirror, he will see the smiling face of Keith Rocco.
There is no question there, Matt. Look a little further back in the field, and we see Mark Buckeye, who's just now approaching the top 10 again. David Snyder is also there, and Ronnie Williams is back into the top 13. And, Matt, I don't think he's going to stay there long. As you see Williams now dive underneath Snyder, he's been picking off about a car a lap.
And a pretty effective move there as he is able to tornado underneath Schneider. And now the car in front of him is Mark Buckeye. And we'll see what happens in the battle between Williams and Buckeye.
So as they rumble back off turn number 4, and that is a good battle going on there that you just pointed out, Matt. But no one is able to gain any additional ground. Matty Galco is so long overdue to have success, and they are just 3 laps shy of the halfway marker in this event. The big question is, has Keith Rocco been saving anything? Let's look at the times, Matt. Galco turned to 2:09. Keith Rocco turned to 0:98. So Rocco is the quicker of the two.
Speaking of quickness, look at Todd Owen as he is able to blast underneath Anthony Flannery. A 19.242 lap for Todd Owen as he might be the fastest bullet in the chamber as we are approaching the halfway mark.
We certainly are, Matt. And when they cross the stripe this time, we'll give you the top 10 and how they come to the stripe. There's the cross flags in the air in this, the second annual Bud Light Modified Open.
Well, Andrew Moeller is going to pass 2 cars in turn number 4. What a move. He got by Gallup and he got by Kopech.
So with 40 laps in the record books, Galco is the leader, Rocco is second, Christopher in third, McDermott in 4, Eric Goodale in 5, Owen is up to 6, Flannery for 7th, 8th is Moeller, 9th is Kopech, and 10th is Gallup in the top 10 currently.
I think that was a move of the race.
We've got a caution, Matt.
Caution.
Car number 19, that is the car that comes from Long Island, and that is the number 19 of David Schneider out of Huntington, New York. He runs at Riverhead Raceway.
Not bad. as he is able to put some distance between himself and Anthony Flannery.
Certainly does. And Owen now all of a sudden look out, because here comes, maybe a surprise to some, but not to us, Matt. Andrew Moeller started in the 13th position. He's up to the second spot, and Moeller is not done by any stretch of the imagination. And look at Dylan Kopak. He's now on the podium. We've got a yellow.
And there is a car stranded on the front straightaway, and that is Dave Schneider. So he has had some back-to-back double whammies.
But Owen gets a nice jump as they come off turn number 4. And now Moeller changes his strategy. He went from the outside to the inside. That car is sticking. And look at Buckeye run the outside lane as well.
And Dylan Kopak is on the inside in the M6 as he tries to blister his way underneath the 52 of Buckeye. And while he does, opening up a pretty big lead is Todd Owen.
There's no question about it. While Owen is out in front, here comes Swanson. We haven't talked about him in Gary Casella's car. Matt Swanson from the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, where he usually runs the number 3 car for the Bowler family. And right behind Swanson is the number 50 of Ronnie Williams, the 00 of Chase Dowling. So those guys are running in the outside lane as well. And now it appears that Ronnie Williams is applying the pressure. Look at Matt Swanson, Matt. He's going for third.
As he tries to sizzle his way underneath Buckeye, he is even with the 52, and now he's able to jackrabbit his way into third. Ronnie Williams making a move underneath Buckeye, and he gains 4th place.
He certainly does. Ronnie Williams, a few laps ago, you would have counted him out of this event, but that's not the story. But I think the incentive there is, Matt, the car that's in front of him is a car that he usually drives, and he doesn't want that 25 to get far out of his sight. Look out, because here comes Chase Dowling down underneath Buckeye, and right there with Dowling is Goodale again, and Matt Galco. Oh, trouble now. The Buckeye machine makes contact with the Dylan Kopak car, and those two cars come together with 45 laps up on the board. And there is the green, and Owen again on top of his game. But I think the story is going to be Ronnie Williams on the outside of Matt Swanson. And now Swanson tries to get down underneath Moeller. 3 wide. They come off turn number 4, Matt.
And backing out of it is Ronnie Williams. That was a pretty aggressive dive bomb move by Swanson. And he is in second. And now moving away from the traffic is Andrew Moeller, getting challenged by Williams. And Williams is able to rocket into third.
He certainly does, almost like he hit the booster button. And with him is Moeller. And then all of a sudden, Marcello Rafrano, we haven't even talked much about him. He's coming to the front of the field as well, Matt.
Jeff Rocco, his crew chief. And now a good move is being made by Chase Dowling in the 00 car. So Dowling is in the top 4. Eric Goodale, he's had his ups and downs tonight, and he has moved into 5th place.
48 laps up on the board. Todd Owen looks like Superman at the front of the field. But all of a sudden, look at Ronnie Williams. He just went down underneath Gary Casella's race car with Matt Swanson in a swish that made Williams look as strong as he's been the early part of this season. Williams is up to second. Meanwhile, a dogfight battle in a side-by-side run between Dowling and the number 58 of Eric Goodale as they work their magic off turn number 4. Goodale now, we almost counted him out a little bit earlier. He now moves back in and takes over the 4th spot. Right there with him, here comes Matty Ice. Car number 3, Matt Galco. Down underneath Dowling. Dowling tries to shake him off. As they come off turn number 4, Owen is still the leader. 30 laps and counting.
And Galco made a good move to get by Dowling. One thing about Eric Goodale, he has learned how to play the tire game here at Stafford, and that's why he should have a pretty awesome car for the rest of the race.
Certainly does appear to be that way, and Todd Owen's strategy of the short pit earlier has definitely paid off with the number 81 machine. Todd Owen's had a tough week this week, Matt. His grandmother passed away at the beginning of the week, and so they have worked around the clock to get this car ready for tonight, and Butch Shea has done his homework because this car is a rocket at the front of the field. And the same can be said for the number 50 machine, because as you look at timing and scoring, those times are almost identical. Owen and Williams' race car are running an 8:92 and a 9:02.
Yeah, 10/100ths of a second difference between the two cars. So Adam Scavera, the car owner of the 50, has done his homework too. We have a great battle for third and fourth. Swanson withstood the challenge from Goodale. Let's see if Goodale can crank up another one. Here he comes.
Certainly does make the effort. It doesn't work as Swanson just kind of shakes him off like a dog who has fleas. Meanwhile, a little further back, remember McDermott, how strong he was in the beginning of the race? Well, he's now seemed to get a little bit of a sip of one of those energy drinks. Now a bid for the lead, Matt, down in turn 3.
Williams has the firepower as they bazooka their way out of the corner. It is the outside car of Owen only by a centimeter. And here comes Ronnie Williams to take over the lead in the Bud Light 80.
There's no question about it. Owen is not going to give up. He continues to dig hard in the outside. Williams runs the bottom lane. They come off from turn number 4. New leader emerges. It is Ronnie Williams to take over the lead. Lap 57 of 80 in this Bud Light special events.
And Eric Goodale has broken free of Matt Swanson. He is running third. Galco fifth. In sixth is Chase Dowling. And Keith Rocco, does he have anything left for a late rally? He is in 7th place.
Also, again, coming back to life, it is Andrew Moeller with the number 1 machine. He's up to the 9th position. Marcello Rafano is setting in the 10th spot. Just out of the top 10 is Jeff Gallup, McDermott, and Anthony Flannery.
So Ronnie Williams leading by the length of a bowling alley against the 81 of Owen. Here comes Goodale. Goodale might be the fastest pony in the merry-go-round because he is starting to challenge Owen for second. Here he comes.
There's no question about it, Matt. He turned an 18.888, and that is really amazing this late in the event. He is side by side with Todd Owen, and now Goodale has moved into the catbird seat. Second place for car number 58. Swanson still setting back in the 4th spot. Galco is in 5. 6th is Dowling. Rocco is in 7th.
Now the margin between Ronnie Williams and Eric Goodale right now is 1.3 seconds. So we'll be keeping an eye on that differential to see if Goodale is gaining ground.
And Michael Christopher has worked his way back up to the top 8, Matt, and he isn't done yet. So he never gave up, and a positive attitude has given him the advantage to come back to the front of this field. 62 of 80 now complete in this, the Bud Light Open for the Tour Type Modifieds.
Mike Christopher in 8th place. Now a side-by-side battle behind him as Andrew Moeller and Jeff Gallup mix it up, and Gallup wins that battle. He is in 9th. Cam McDermott not far away. He sends it in to get underneath Moeller.
And while that's been happening, Marcello Rafano is right there with that pack of cars as well. Still with a time of 18.987 on the last time by. The fastest car on the last circuit is Ronnie Williams.
Williams' lead is growing. It was 1.3 a couple of laps ago as Mark Bakai gets ready to come in. Now it's 1.6. So Ronnie Williams is winning the war between he and Goodale.
Look at Chase Dowling. He just now moved underneath Matty Galco with the number 3 car. Galco was running in the 5th spot. Dowling takes over the 5th position, forcing Galco back to the 6th spot. Keith Rocco is setting in position number 7, and Rocco is starting to get quicker. So is it Michael Christopher.
And leading by about the length of the Goodyear blimp is Ronnie Williams. Now his differential 1.8. So he has gained a half a second over Goodale in the last 5 laps.
Certainly has, Matt, and that is the way they're currently running. Another car that's picking up some speed is Dowling with a 137 and Keith Rocco with a 158. So Rocco, all of a sudden, if he saved anything, he's starting to show that he's closing things up just a bit. Same can be said for the Chase Dowling car. 67 of 80 laps now up on the board.
Boy, it's amazing that after 67 laps, Ronnie Williams can click off a lap of 19.1 0.12, and he followed it up with a 19.061. So Ronnie Williams, whatever they did on the pit stop, they should write a manual about it, and it would be a bestseller.
Certainly would be. And now we're seeing some closing here between the Todd Owen race car and the Matt Swanson machine. So Swanson has moved into the third position. Owen is back to the fourth spot, and then Dowling is up to 5 with Rocco in 6.
Great
10
move
laps to go, Matt.
Great move by Mike Christopher as he was able to bury that car underneath Matt Galco. Mike Christopher is now in 7th place.
So we're down to less than 10 laps remaining. And now, all of a sudden, the battle is between Todd Owen, Matt Swanson, Chase Dowling, and Keith Rocco.
Yeah, Chase Dowling has stuck his nose in there. Now, most of the passing is taking place in turn number 3. So let's see what Dowling does as he approaches the third corner against Todd Owen.
And look out, because here comes Keith Rocco. He's going to go to the outside of Dowling as they come off the turn. Dowling's car has loosened up considerably. And Owen slips up the racetrack. That's going to work to the advantage of Dowling as they come up on a lapped car.
And Dowling tried to use that as an ally. It didn't quite work, but Dowling is able to maintain his edge by about a hubcap over Todd Owen down to the final 7 laps. And Ronnie Williams is still clicking off the fastest laps in the race, except for Todd Owen, who had an 18-second lap the last time around.
And all of a sudden, here comes Keith Rocco, and as quick as Owens looked, Rocco takes over the number 5 position when they cross the stripe. So Keith Rocco is coming on strong, but time is starting to run out. And now Rocco sets his sights with 5 to go.
Trouble for Shaw as that car has lost its momentum, and it is just crawling on the inside of the track. We'll see if he can get it off the track to avoid a late caution.
Matt, here comes Keith Rocco working the outside of Chase Dowling. Down the back straightaway. Caution is out. And this is going to change everything and turn this into a real barn burner if it wasn't hot enough already.
Dylan Kopak, the driver who I believe brought out the caution in the middle of laps 3 and 4. There was trouble for Shaw as well.
Trying to get off the racetrack. And the green is out. And it appears Ronnie Williams has the advantage again. Up to the outside comes Goodale. Here comes Chase Dowling. Dowling goes around Swanson. Todd Owen's car goes up the hill and becomes evil, Matt.
And he loses about 8 positions. At the front, Ronnie Williams has responded to the challenge of Goodale. Swanson getting under Chase Dowling.
Oh, Michael Christopher makes contact with Keith Rocco. We've got cars spinning down the back straightaway.
And the yellow comes out on lap number 76.
M6, Dylan Kopeck was involved. The number 7 machine was involved.
That was Mike Christopher Jr.
No, that isn't that 7. That's the other 7 car. And the 68 of Marcello Rafano was involved, Matt. And Keith Rocco were right in there on that bid. There's the green again.
Let's see if Goodale learned anything on that last restart. It is Williams pouncing his way to the front. Matt Swanson making a move. A 3-way battle for the lead.
As they head down the back straightaway. Now it is Chase Dowling in the middle of that mix. Here comes Keith Rocco. Matt Swanson gets a wheel down underneath Goodale. He's going for second. He's going to try to go for the lead.
It looks like Swanson is able to clear Goodale. Now he is trying to chase after Ronnie Williams. Rocco doing a good job in 4th, 1 spot ahead of Galco. But here comes Ronnie Williams. He cranks it up over the 4th corner, and we have 2 laps to go.
Final 2 circuits to go in this one. Rocco has moved into the 4th spot. Galco has moved up to 5. Michael Christopher in the 6th spot. Chase Dowling fighting back in position number 7. Oh, down the back straightaway. That's
Eric Goodale, who wound up in the grass. He was fighting
Saved
for second with.
Wow, what a save, Matt. White flag is out.
He was fighting with Swanson. Now here's Ronnie Williams. He is 3 turns away from another major victory.
Here's the story. Ronnie Williams is going to win in the 50 if he can hold on for 2 more turns. Meanwhile, the car that he usually drives will follow him to the checker with Matt Swanson to finish in second behind Ronnie Williams, the winner of the Bud Light 80. Keith Rocco to finish in third. Matty Galco, a great comeback for fourth.
Give it all to me. No, it's pretty awesome. Having the 25 come here with Matt Swanson and finish 1-2 with them, it's just an awesome feeling. These guys, Adam, the guys, they worked their butts off, and it showed today. I'm happy for the 25 as well, and hopefully we can keep this thing going. Didn't get the victory in the SK, but this kind of makes up for it.
Ronnie, who are you going to share that Bud Light with?
Yeah, I got to thank Empower Financial, Less's Auto, Center Machine, Napa, Tolland, Flamingo Motorsports, Better for the Awesome Horsepower, and just again, like for all these guys for what they do, and I'm happy to be back at Victory Lane.
Our defending SK Modified champion, Ronnie Williams, goes to Victory Lane in the 80-lap Open for Modifieds. Let's go to our second and third place finisher with Jeff McConey.
Good question. We're trying to find Matt Swanson. Here he is. Matt, you had a great run there towards the end. How are you feeling after that? You had a hard battle, and how are you feeling?
Oh, feeling good. You know, we were supposed to go to Lee, USA tonight for the MRS race. It got canceled this morning. We worked till 2 o'clock this morning on this 25 car to get it done. Gary, Mully, Stetson, Sean, Charlie, everyone that helped on this car. When we found out Lee got canceled this morning, we all showed up at the shop and thrashed to get this thing done. We missed practice, made it 10 minutes before the heat race, so I'll take a second place to the kid that normally drives it.
Yeah, great job for a second place finish. Who do you have to thank?
I got to thank Mully's Auto Repair, Go With The Fly, Pettit for the awesome horsepower, just everyone that works on this car. They pour their heart and souls into this thing, and it shows. And, you know, to come here and miss practice, not turn a lap on the track until the heat race, second's not that bad, so we'll take it.
Absolutely, and some post-race fireworks, and it looks like John has managed to wrangle Keith together, and he's over there down towards the end. We're trying to get Keith over here, but John, how's it going?
All right, yeah, Keith, man, rough, tough night here tonight, but third place, man, you got to be real happy with that.
Yeah, you know, kind of disappointing. It's the last one of the Open 80s. We have a lot of fun in these races, and Stafford and the Roots did a great job by putting these shows on. I think they're really onto something, and they're going to go big and go far with it. But I got to thank M&M Stone Creations, 811 Call Before You Dig, Cuff Realty, Green Construction, and my whole team for everything they do. Mark and Mike Payne, M&M Stone Creations and Garden Center.
This guy just put down a lot of laps here at the Stafford Half Mile, did a good job in car number 57, goes third in the 80-lap main event here this evening.